Well, thank you, Chris, and welcome to the brand room at the Goshen County Fairgrounds. Myself and my grandfather, Ron Kaufman, will be at the fair all week this week, interviewing our local 4-H and FFA participants. We'll do one right now this morning. We'll also have one later on, about 5 after 1 o'clock today, but we're here interviewing the kids, and we invite you to come on out and check out the fair. And I'm what's known as my grandfather would call it, a city slicker, so I'll kind of let my grandpa, Ron Kaufman, ask these kids questions about their events and projects going on this week.
Well, thank you, Ryan. And it's a pleasure. And I noticed I walked the grounds this morning, and everybody's pretty busy. They seem like they're working with their goats and their sheep and kind of getting everything ready to go. We have 3 individuals with us, and I think are all of you from the Torrington FFA? No. Just one. Okay. So that wasn't a good guess, was it?
They'll straighten us out.
Yep. Yeah, and we'll just start with the one Torrington FFA member. Your name
Rory Masterson,
and what club you in?
Gleaners Union,
And what FFA chapter?
Torrington Lingle.
Okay, we got that one correct. And tell us what you show.
Horses and then market and breeding sheep.
Okay. It's nice to have some horse people here. I kind of watched that show yesterday, and I understand you had a little trouble.
Sunday, yeah, it was the trouble. And, well, I guess my mare yesterday during Showmanship didn't want to behave too great either.
So did you place?
No.
No. Was there quite a few? You were in a senior class.
Yeah.
Did you show both 4-H and FFA?
I was going to, but then my FFA mare was being really naughty before we went in, so I went and scratched her. My voice today. But then I took her in for halter, and she was a little angel, and I was like, of course.
So
that always happens.
Yep. And sometimes that happens with anything that you show.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you do in showmanship?
So I didn't place in 4-H, and I scratched FFA, but my mare got first in our class and overall paint mare, so that was pretty good.
Good. So how'd the judge do for you? Did he give you any reasons why you where you placed?
No, I've noticed horse judges are quite a bit harsher almost than livestock judges because they usually explain why they placed it how they did. Horse judges are like, this is it, not going to tell you why, that's just how it is.
Yeah, okay. Well, that judge was an ex-4-H member from Goshen County, Seth Schaefer, and he did an excellent job, I thought. So.
Yeah, I enjoyed having him. He was really polite and nice, and I did get to talk to him a little bit.
Good, good. So you also show
breeding sheep and market lambs.
And you did you show breeding sheep?
Yes.
And how'd you do at the old ram?
Oh, really good. I got a Supreme Ram with him, and he was just a little little lamb, born in January. A little natural. I love him to death. He's spoiled.
Okay. So what do they look for in a breeding stock?
Structure. For rams, like structure, kind of volume, mass, testicle size, which is kind of awkward to say, but it's livestock judging, or just livestock. And he's good, and their look and from the profile and how they move.
Yeah, and you need a little length and a little loin area, so that's good. And I understand as soon as this is over or state fair's over, you're going to be packing up and heading out. Tell us about that a little bit with from your FFA experience.
I'm going down to NJC, so Northeastern Junior College in Sterling, Colorado. I'm excited. I'm going to go livestock judge down there, which I'm really looking forward to. I had a couple other schools reach out, but I just had the best connection with this coach, and I have family friends down there, and that was really helpful to factor in deciding where to go.
So for our city slickers like Ryan, kind of explain all about judging. Tell us a little bit the basics, like how many's in a class and what you do and what are reasons. Kind of explain that situation.
So class is made up of 4 animals, and we judge both breeding and market in hogs, sheep, goats, and beef. And then so we place the class, and we'll turn our cards in our Scantron, and then afterwards we have oral reasons, which is when we explain why we placed it how we did. I like them in this order because blah 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 blah.
Yeah, 1 over 2 or 2 over 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your high score in placings can be.
So you can get a highest you can get on every class in reasons is a 50.
And reasons and then you have cut cards for the way you place the class. So if you placed them exactly backwards, you're probably going to get like a 20 or 30.
I've been there quite a bit.
And if you place them correctly, you get a perfect score, which is a 50.
Yep.
And a perfect score in reasons is a 50, correct?
Yes.
Yes, and that's kind of hard to do. And that young man that judged horses, I will tell you, he's one of the first individuals that got a 50 for our team in Goshen County when he was a young man. It's very, very hard to get a 50, isn't it?
Yeah. I think the closest I've gone is a 49, which is still pretty good, but I was like,
Yeah, that is terrific.
yeah.
How long should they be? Like you explained the class, like you place number 1 over 2 and et cetera. How long should your reasons be?
I think it depends on like if it's like a performance data class, because then I don't know. Mine typically go a little long. I talk a lot, or I have a lot to say, but I don't know. It's different for each person has their own preference, and each judge will too.
Yep.
So I think as long as you're under like that 2-minute mark, you should be pretty
Yep.
good.
Minute and a half to 2 minutes. Yeah, that's plenty, isn't it? So good job. And what else you gonna do this week?
So I have, well, today I have to shear 4 or 5 lambs, and then tomorrow I have the market show for lambs, and then Friday I'm helping with the beef show.
Why do you shear?
Why do I shear?
Yeah, why in market animals you shear 'em? There's a reason, isn't there?
Yeah, it's so the muscle expression's there, and you can see it better when they have wool on them.
That's exactly right.
Mhm.
And they can feel and
Yeah.
we talk about showing and bracing. What is bracing?
Oh, that's the hard part.
That's what I
Probably.
thought.
It's when you're like standing. It depends on your stance, but you're pushing into your lamb, trying to get them to push, so they're like tense and the muscles popping, and it feels the best.
Yeah, so the judge can feel the actual muscle, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
So very good, Roy. We good luck in college.
Thank you.
I think you can give a set of reasons the way you've explained to our audience today. So thanks for coming, and we appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
We'll pass it on down. We'll go to this young man. Your name?
Spencer Booth.
Spencer Booth. What do you show?
Breeding does and a breeding buck, and then market goats.
So explain what a doe is and a buck is to the audience.
Well, a doe is just a female goat, and then a buck is a male goat.
Okay, good. See, he knows what he's doing this year. How old are you?
14.
And what club are you in?
Horseshoe Acres.
Horseshoe Acres.
Yeah.
Are you going to show in showmanship?
Yeah, for market you have to.
Okay. So explain to the audience what's the difference between a market goat and a dairy goat.
Well, a dairy goat, it's more like about, dairy goats, they have like udders, so you can get milk from them. And, I don't really show dairy goats, so I wouldn't know how to explain it, but, and then, wait, what was the other goat that you said?
The market goat.
Market goat? Okay. So that's, a buck that got his, testicles cut off. And it's basically just for, the, like, meat and muscle on it.
Exactly right. And, a dairy goat has more angularity, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And the udder capacity. So that's the main thing they're used for. And a boar goat is, I assume you have boar goat. Yours is a boar goat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're used for meat, aren't they? And they should be more like a lamb or a sheep.
Yeah.
Should be more square. What'd they weigh?
Well, my big one weighed 78 pounds, and then my smaller one weighed 59 pounds.
So how heavy does usually a boar goat get for meat?
Well, it can be in the range of like 75 to like 100.
That
usually.
is
yeah, and that's a pretty solid goat if it's above 100.
Yeah,
or it's pretty fat.
they're not near as big as a lamb. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and a lot of these goats go to Colorado and that area for the sale.
Yeah, and I've heard like that, like down in Texas and stuff, like they're really starting to get into like goat meat.
Yeah.
Like that.
What do you feed your boar goats?
Essentials feed. It's
Like grain and
just grain.
is it a
basically-
pellet form or?
Yeah, it's in pellet form.
Yeah, good. So you're going to show in showmanship.
Yeah.
Tell us how you do that with the market goat.
Well, basically, you just pick out your like best acting goat because it's not like about the goat; it's about like the shower. So yeah, you just try to look nice and presentable.
And what do you do? What's one rule between you and the judge? I mean, what's the deal with the judge and your goat?
Like in showmanship.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people they like smile really big. It works with like I know that my sisters do it a lot.
They try
And
to
it
bribe.
works.
They try to bribe the judge. a
Yeah,
little, huh?
basically.
Yeah. We used to call that brown nosing, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's good. And the idea is always keep that go between you and the
Yeah.
judge, right?
Yeah. So if you're like bracing it and you're on the like right, it's just like judge goat you is what you want for it. And then if it's like walking around, or if the judge is walking around you, then you flip sides and yeah, just always try to show your goat in, especially like actual goat show.
Yeah. Yeah. Real good. You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Also, Spencer, did you show in breeding?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So my breeding doe got third overall in the breeding show, and then my breeding buck got first grand champion overall.
Oh, so that's good. So are you going
Yeah.
to state fair with those?
No, probably not. I don't know if we would have time for it.
And how old are you? You
14.
14.
Yeah.
So yeah, and you have more years, more opportunity, don't you? So,
Yeah.
well, I appreciate you talking to us,
Yep. Thanks for having me.
and good luck.
Thanks.
I admire you young people. You have a responsibility because you have to get up early in the morning. You usually
Yeah.
late at night, huh? And during fair, it's a lot of work, people. You might just tell us a little about your stalls. What do they expect?
Well, most people for like breeding does and breeding bucks, you don't have to put like sawdust in it because it's just go in, show, and then like head out. And then just so you don't have to clean up like a mess for a couple hours.
And you don't keep them there all week,
Yeah,
do
and
you?
then no, you don't. And then for weathers, then you put sawdust in there, and I would change their feed and water every day so they have like fresh stuff.
Yep.
And and then you clean that out at the end of because they stay and you can sell them.
Yeah, and that's good. And I assume you exercise those goats,
Yeah.
the market goats.
Just walk them every day and brace them for a couple.
Okay. He knows what he's doing, City Slicker, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
So, well, thank you for coming in, and
Yep,
good
thanks
luck.
for having me.
We appreciate it. And our next young man is,
Liam Haas from Bear Creek Guys and Gals.
and you show
I show lambs, market lambs, just market lambs.
market lambs. And are you an FFA and 4-H?
Nope, I am just in 4-H.
Just in 4-H. So, how'd they weigh?
I have 3 lambs, 1 wether, and 2 ewes. My smallest lamb was 123, and that was my wether. And then I had a ewe at 125, and my last ewe was at 128.
Oh, you might have to get some help.
Yeah, I plan on it. I've already talked to quite a few people.
So, if you do get help, they do have to be a 4-H or an FFA member, correct?
Yes, they do.
So they can help you show, and usually you can find enough volunteers. Do you have to bribe them?
No, usually we're all pretty good friends in the sheep barn.
That's
so
good.
usually we just yell at someone right then and there, yell them, come help, and they usually do.
That's good. So in your market lambs, they'll divide the class probably tomorrow, so
Yeah.
you'll know if you're in a heavy, medium, or light, or whatever.
Yep, usually we find out the morning of. Tomorrow morning we show up on Wednesday. It starts at 8. And we usually find out around 7 o'clock is when they post the
So do they
divisions.
start with the heavy class, or what class do they start with?
They start with the lightweight, and we do showmanship first. And then we do senior, intermediate, and then junior showmanship. And then we start in the lightweight division and work our way up to the heavyweight.
So for the audience, it is fun to watch these kids show, especially if it's the market and the breeding. It's real fun to watch and kind of watch the judge and see what they pick. And one thing There's always a different judge, and some
Mhm.
years you might have the right lamb, and some years you may not, correct?
It depends on the judge.
Yeah, totally. So um, your goal is to finish that lamb as a market lamb, and what
Yes.
should you look for?
You want a big butt in a lamb, wide loin, long. You want a good middle of the loin. You don't want it too long where it's skinny, but you don't want it wide and short. And then you want a good set of ribs on it, deep boned.
Yeah, and you don't want a lot of fat on that.
No, too
lamb.
much. You want a little bit, but too much will ruin your muscle definition.
Yeah, and you need a little marbling, as they say. What does marbling do?
Marbling it'll help with your muscle structure, and it also people who eat the lambs, it'll help with frying. Marbling is the fat through the muscle.
And it gives it a lot of flavor.
It
huh?
gives it good fat, gives it good flavor. Bad fat,
Not so
you'll
good.
know when it's bad fat.
Yep. So, excellent job. Thanks for coming in,
Yep.
and you guys have a good week, all of you. Appreciate you
Thank
coming
you.
in.
Yeah, good luck, guys.
Yeah. So we'll get about 3 more up here, Ryan, if we can. And good luck to these 3 individuals the next few days. Now we have some youngsters with us. They're a little younger than what we've had. If you'll grab the mic and just put it right up there, yeah, in front of you. Just grab a hold of that. It won't bite you. Put it right up here, a little close. There you go. That's good. So we'll interview these young people, and we'll start with this young man here. What's your name?
Eli,
Eli? And what club are you with?
Bear Creek Guys and Gals.
Okay, and what are you showing?
Pigs.
Pigs. Oh, do you have them ready?
Yes.
They're ready? How
Yeah.
much do they weigh? How many do you have?
I have 5.
You have 5.
You got your hands full.
Man, you're busy. And how old are you?
9.
Wow, this guy, he's a worker. So they've weighed him? Have you weighed him?
Yes.
Did they cooperate?
Yes.
They did good?
Mhm.
How, they weigh good?
Yes.
What's your heaviest one?
280.
See, this kid knows. What's your lightest one?
240.
240. So, and then you have some in between. You have 3 in between.
Yep.
So, are you gonna be able to show them yourself?
Yes.
You're ready. Tell us how you show a pig. What
Uh,
do you use a stick or do you use the little bat thing?
I use a stick.
Use a stick, and what's the object of the stick? Do you kind of lead
Kind
it?
of steers them around.
Yes, I steer them around with the stick.
So they know where to go when you pat them on the shoulder, one side or the other one.
Yep.
Do they always cooperate?
Yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes they're a little stubborn.
Yep.
And when they get out and show ring with everybody, it's kind of hard, isn't it?
And kind of.
So is this your first year of showing?
Yes.
Is it? You enjoy those pigs? They each have their own personality, don't they?
Yes, they
Yeah,
do.
they do. So have you enjoyed it so far?
Yes.
Do you have you changed your stall already? Your pins?
No.
No, they're not. You don't have to yet.
Nope.
Okay. Are you in showmanship?
Yes.
So you are a junior, in other words. Yeah, the youngest classes.
Yep.
Well, we hope you do well. Good luck.
Thanks.
Have you been feeding them good?
Yes.
Do they drink the water in here, or you have to bring water from home?
They drink water from here.
So that water's okay. They like it. Yeah, sometimes it's hard and you have to put Gatorade or something in that water so they'll drink. Well, good luck. We'll let you pass the microphone on down to this young man. And good luck. Thanks for coming in. And next we'll have the young lady here. And your name?
Tyan.
What's the name again?
Tyan.
Tyan. That's a different name. And you show what?
Sheep, goats, dairy goats, horses,
You got your hands full.
and sewing and cooking.
Oh, man. And how old are you?
10.
And what club are you in?
Goshen Livestockers.
Goshen Livestockers. You have your hands full. So give me those projects again. You have sheep, horse,
dairy goats and sewing and cooking.
What are your favorite?
Probably horses.
So how'd you do in horses?
I got first in showmanship, first in Western Junior. I can't remember all of what I got.
Well, with that many projects, I think it
Be
would
tough
be.
to remember.
Yeah. So are you going state fair?
With my sheep.
You're going with your sheep. Well, so you're what kind of horse you have? Quarter horse or Appaloosa or what?
I'm pretty sure she's a quarter horse.
Quarter horse. What's her name?
Holly.
Holly. So Holly's a pretty good horse. Cooperates. Tell us a little bit about Western riding. The audience, they haven't heard anything about Western riding.
It's fence work. You just, like they say, trot, lope, or walk your horses down the fence.
So they kind of watch how your horse strides and how you handle your horse. Is that the idea?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they judge the horse and the individual.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah. So tell us how the rider should ride.
Make your horse under control.
That's the key right there, isn't it? Western riding, you must keep that horse under control. So, and your rail work has to be like it shows in the book, does it? In your rule book,
Yeah.
correct? Good. So, let's talk about cooking. Do you know how you placed?
No.
What'd you do for cooking?
I did zucchini bread.
Oh, all right. What about sewing?
I did a pillowcase.
A what?
A pillowcase.
Oh, a pillowcase. Good. So has that been judged, or do you know?
It's been judged. I just don't know what I got on it.
So you'll find out this afternoon, I assume, because they open the 4-H building at 3,
Yeah.
from 3 to 8, so then you can see how you placed.
I think I got a blue on both, but I'm not quite sure.
Well, if you did, that means you get to go to state, correct? Or do you have to have a state blue? I'm not real sure. Anyway, you probably did okay, and you might be able to go to state fair. The goats, we better talk about the goats. You have a boar goat or breeding goat?
Well, I had a boar goat, and then I also had a breeding goat I showed yesterday.
How'd you do?
I've got like fourth, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. What kind of goat? What breed?
Boar.
Well, you have a boar for market, but oh, you have a boar breeding goat.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah. I'm always thinking of dairy goats breeding, but there are breeding boar goats, isn't there? So you did pretty good with that. So your market goat, what did it weigh?
They weighed my first market goat weighed 92, and then my second market goat weighed 62.
So you're right in there, aren't you? When do you show?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. So you're kind of getting ready. How do you prep your goats for show?
You clip them, and then you have to fit them.
Okay, in other words, you kind of brush them
Yeah.
and cut a lot of the extra hair off, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you going to go in showmanship?
Yeah, I do showmanship and everything.
So how'd you do in the breeding showmanship?
With my sheep or my goat.
Your goat.
I didn't do showmanship with my goat.
Okay.
Just my sheep.
Just your sheep, and you're going to show them later. What'd your sheep weigh?
My sheep weigh. My lightest one's 125.
Okay.
My heaviest one is 142, and then my one in between is 163. 133.
133. Okay, so you're kind of spread out. You might be able to show them all yourself, huh? Are you kind of ready to do that?
Yeah.
Is that tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Market class is tomorrow.
Market class or tomorrow. You have quite a few competitors?
I don't know.
You don't know. Not until you get out there, huh? And you'll see what class you're in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so is this your first year in 4-H?
My second,
Second year? And I understand you just moved here from where?
Nebraska.
Nebraska. What part?
Over by Chadron and Hay Springs area.
Okay. We won't hold that against her, will we?
We're glad to have you.
Yeah, we're glad to have you. We need more people in Goshen County. So, young lady, good luck, and thank you a lot for coming in and talking to us.
You're welcome.
Sounds like you're doing okay. Thanks, and good luck tomorrow. And now we have, I think, a horse guy right here. Tell us your name.
Tripper Kosminski.
Kosminski. I think I had your mother in 4-H.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how'd you do with the horses, and what classes were you in? Were
I
you
was in junior.
junior?
And I got first in trail and third in showmanship and then third in Western pleasure.
Oh, third in Western Pleasure. So tell us about Western Pleasure first. How do you do that?
I think it's Western pleasure, but you just ride around in the
In the arena? Just
on
like
the
the
fence,
young, just like the young lady said, and they judge you and the rider.
Yeah.
I mean, I should say you and the horse, not you and the rider. They can't judge you twice, can they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, showmanship. Tell us how you show a horse. And
You just the pattern sort of, you had a trot and then you turned you took a left and then the judge was just standing kind of right there, and then you kind of set up your horse, and then he walked around your horse, and then he told you he's like, thank you, and then you turned your horse 180 degrees, and then you walked back, and then Jennifer Shear, she showed you where to go, and then you just set your horse up.
yeah, when you're talking about setting your horse up, when you lead that horse around, you don't ride it, you just lead it for showmanship, don't
Yeah.
you? So, the idea is, what's the idea in
You
showmanship?
just you want their feet to be lined up with each other, their front and back feet, and then just
Sometimes that's pretty hard. You
Yeah.
have to back them up and move, do you?
yeah.
You back them up and then move them forward. And when the judge walks around the horse, what do you do?
So if the judge is by the horse's butt, then you go because when you lead the horse, you're on the left side of it, and then if the judge is on the right side of the butt, then you go to the right side of the head, and then once the judge gets onto the other side, then you come back over onto the other side of the horse's head, and then he walks up, and then you go back over there to the other side, and then he'll come back to where he was standing at, and then you'll come to the other side.
See, I think he knows what he's doing. He's got the idea. And it's fun to watch that. It's fun to watch showmanship because these kids have to move pretty rapidly, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you have to have like he said, set your horse up and have control. Tell the audience a little bit about your trail. That's always an interesting class. You got first in trail, and young man, that's pretty good in trail.
So
There's a lot of obstacles, isn't there?
Yeah.
Just tell us about it.
So, a few years ago, you used to open a gate. You had to open a gate, but this year they didn't have it. So, you would just ride over you would be trotting, and then you just ride over a log, and then you went into a box sorta, and then you trotted a circle in there, and then you went out of the box, and then you went over more logs, and then you loped, and then kind of to where the end of the box was, and then you stopped, and then you backed your horse up, and then you trotted over more logs, and then you walked over the bridge, and then in a small box you turned your horse to the left, and then you walked out.
So you had to make sure you stayed in that box, right?
Yeah.
That horse couldn't step a leg out, so that's why
Or the judge would not balk.
He'd
Mess up your score.
yeah, that's what we're trying to say. Yeah, he'd take off on your score.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of times those horses are hard to stay in the box. How'd you do over the bridge? It's a wooden bridge, I
Yeah.
think.
Like my horse just walked over it, but some other horses were kind of
A little spooked.
didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
So they just kind of walked around it.
Yeah, and if you got first in trail, you did an excellent job.
Yeah.
So your horse must be pretty tame, and mine's you pretty good.
Yeah.
What's your horse's name?
Chewy.
And Chewy, and is it a quarter horse?
Yes. Sure.
Okay. A lot of quarter horses because they work cattle, don't they?
Yeah.
Do you work cattle with yours?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
But
Huh?
I ride a different horse. I don't ride that horse.
Oh, okay. This is your special horse for
Yeah.
4-H, huh? Yeah, good. So you enjoy riding?
Sorta.
Well, you must do pretty good. So, well, we appreciate you coming in, Mr. Kosminski. Thanks for coming in, and we didn't mention your other project, and that is
Market beef, and then I have a static exhibit.
okay. Tell people what static exhibit is.
It's like there's different categories like baking, sewing, woodworking, welding, shooting, archery,
What'd you do?
woodworking, and then I made a copper cross.
A copper cross. So did you peen it out, or how?
Well, we took a piece of wood and then we cut out a cross in it, and then we stained it. Then we took an old snow fence and then we cut it so it would fit and it wouldn't cover the cross. And we put it like that, and then we put a piece of copper on the back. And then,
Oh,
yeah, it's pretty cool.
yeah. So do you know how you did?
No.
Placed? You will probably this afternoon, huh?
Yeah.
You'll probably sneak over there and have to check it out.
Mhm.
And your beef, are your market beef?
Yeah.
What kind? What's your breed?
Crossbred.
Crossbred?
Both of them.
Okay, you've got two.
Yep.
So how'd they weigh?
My black one that I have, he weighed 14.35, and the white one, he weighed 13.20.
So you'll be in different classes.
Yeah.
That's good. How are they? They're pretty gentle.
Yeah, the black one's kind of spooky a little.
Can you handle him?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. You have to talk to him or what?
Sort of.
Okay.
Like sometimes he just kind of drops his head and runs a little, but
And he's kind of pulls you around?
yeah.
Yeah, just being a pill, huh?
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, good luck.
Thank you.
We appreciate both of you coming in, and I'm sure you'll do good. So you're in the junior class, and we'll kind of have to watch you. When do you show?
Friday.
Friday. Yeah, so you have a long wait yet.
Yeah.
So you should be able to get them settled down, huh?
Mhm.
All right. So tell us do you wash yours?
Well, I'm gonna wash mine later today sometime. But the day before I show them, I'll spray Pro Foam on them and then blow it in with a blower. So like the hair kind of goes with it. Sort of. And
Just
then,
make it look a little prettier.
yeah. And then we'll like. Well, I already trimmed
Okay.
mine, so they're good. And then I'll take like some strong adhesive and then spray it on their hocks, so that hair will come back to like an angle, sort of.
Make them look a little better, huh?
Yeah,
Make them pretty.
because you want them to like almost be a box, sort of.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they should be square.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like a box. A little longer and a little deeper. Yeah. I think he knows what he's doing,
I think he does.
just for a young man. Thanks for coming in, and good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, guys. So we better tell them about, you got some youth events on the schedule here, Grandpa. We'll announce those for our listeners.
Yeah, today, they have the dog agility show, and I think that's in the pavilion, and the open dog agility. And then at 4, All right, 6, in the show ring, you have the goat costume and agility contest. And then I think there's a team sort at 7 p.m. in the arena or the pavilion. And Wednesday, we have in the grass show ring, you have the sheep show, first and second year lamb show, Goshen County bred and fed lamb show, and then the rabbit show, the poultry showmanship, and all that. The market goat show is at 4, so it's a little cooler. And they'll have showmanship, market goats, and bred and fed goat show.
Well, yeah, so we invite listeners to come down to the fair, check it out all week long. We'll be here until Friday doing interviews with our 4-H and FFA participants, and we'll have another one today at about 1:05. We'd like to thank our sponsors, in part, North Platte Physical Therapy, J.G. Elliott Insurance, Pinnacle Bank, Pine Bluff Sinclair, Platte River Family Dentistry, Main Street Market, Panhandle Co-op, and Dinklage Feed Yards, and we'll have to send it back to the studios so Chris and John can get on the restaurant guide here. So for Ron Kaufman, I'm Ryan Kaith. We'll send it back to the studios at KERM.